In this video, I want to show you one powerful indicator that is based on the liquidation levels in TradingView. This indicator takes into account various metrics as open interest, CVDs, volume, or other types of data to calculate these liquidation levels that you can see here in the chart. This indicator is called Liquidation Levels by Leviathan Capital and is completely free. You can use it on TradingView for free. And to load it into the chart, you go here into the TradingView dashboard, you go here in indicators, you type in liquidations, and you see here liquidation levels by Leviathan Capital, and it has 4,000 almost people that is using this indicator. If you want to read the guide that Leviathan has done for the users, here is very well explained how to use this indicator and also where this indicator is taking the data from to calculate these liquidation levels. Okay, but this is an indicator that is an advanced indicator, and as Leviathan explains here, is based on the HighBlock liquidation level tools. That, if you know, HighBlock is a charting platform that provides this service, payment service. You have to pay to see this data. But as I said, this indicator is very precise. It's not as precise as HighBlock because it takes data and it makes calculations based on the program, let's say on the code that is the indicator made, but is pretty accurate. Okay, so once the indicator is loaded into the chart, we go here into the indicators tab on our TradingView dashboard, and we click here in the settings. And here, for example, I have these are my settings. Okay, so for example, you can switch between to calculate these liquidation levels. For example, you can switch on open interest, okay, and you see that the levels change automatically. You can change, for example, to open interest plus volume, okay, and there are different levels. And also you can switch in open interest plus CVD, also CVD, only CVD, and volume. I prefer to use just volume because let's say that as Leviathan explains in the indicator, indicator explanation, this open interest is taken from the Binance futures, and recently Binance futures has dropped a lot his trading volume, and I suspect that the data that we can take from Binance futures is, let's say, is not the best data, because for example right now at this precise moment CME is the let's say where the most of the open interest is coming into the Bitcoin market for trading. So I prefer to use other metrics such as volume, as I said. Okay, so we go here into settings, and we have a lot of settings that we can switch. For example, to see this kind of heat map, let's say we can see here that this is like a heat map because we see these lines, and the lines, for example, the blue lines correspond or are equal to the 25x liquidation levels, okay? The 50x liquidations are equal to the orange lines, and 100x liquidations are the red lines, okay? So we see that the red or the orange lines are the liquidations that are, let's say, most leveraged, and the blue lines are the liquidations that are less leveraged, okay? But we see that usually they tend to cluster around the same levels. As I said in other videos that I made, if you are an experienced enough trader and you have a lot of experience in the market, when you see the chart and you see the price action, you see exactly where these liquidation levels are. So this indicator is not the holy grail, as I always said, because this, if you see here, for example, the majority of the liquidation levels, if you switch off the indicator, are clustered between the swing points, okay? For example, this is a swing point, this is another swing point, another swing point. So usually people tend to put, when they jump into a long, they tend to put, for example, here and the stop losses here, okay? Or the entry point here and the stop loss here. So usually the liquidation levels coincide with where the point where the people put their stop losses, or if they are over leveraged, the same point that they have entry in the position. But if we switch it on, this, and if you are a beginner, this indicator will help you a lot to understand better the charts and to understand better where the liquidity is in the chart and where the price could be attracted to mitigate this liquidity, okay? So if you want to see my actual settings to see this chart, I have, for example, the primary data source as volume, directional bias for liquidation levels off, directional bias for liquidation level bubbles off, also the sensitivity is 1, also the base is half. You have here many options, but I observe that the better for me, in my opinion, is half, as it comes by default. Also, this indicator is very interesting because you have other indicators that Leviathan has done separately that I use personally on my trading setup. That is the market order bubbles, this indicator here, that what it shows is a display between the, let's say, volume and open interest that shows where a lot of volume, buying volume and selling volume by these dots or bubbles above and below the price, let's say, has been transacted in this particular area, okay? So this indicator comes, as I said, alone, and you can use it only the market order bubbles indicator, okay? But in this case, I will switch it off because I have it, I use it. I don't use this indicator for my trading setups, these liquidation levels, but I think that if you are beginner, will be useful for you. That's why I am explaining you. But also here you have other options that you can switch on, okay? For example, the color candles that shows you if you are in an uptrend or in a downtrend, okay? It's like a Heikin-Ashi chart, let's say, if we have, let's say, in a row multiple green candles and also in a row multiple red candles, okay? You can, it's like you switch in Heikin-Ashi, it shows you the trend, okay? It's not like Heikin-Ashi, but it's almost the same in my opinion, okay? After this, you can see, for example, other options like leverage ratio crosses that you can enable, but I leave it enabled because the information that I want to see is just the lines, okay? For example, also the lines, you can switch it. I have it in solid because it's more visual for me, but you can switch it, for example, if it's too strong, these colors, you can switch it to dashed or also to dot, okay? For example, you see it changed the apparel of the indicator here. And also you can change the colors, okay? For example, you want to, the 25x liquidations, you want to switch it, for example, to yellow, to have the same colors into the chart like a heat map, okay? For example, this is more like a heat map, okay? For example, also we can switch also the color of the bubbles to yellow, and this will be like a heat map, okay? With different tonalities of yellow, switching to yellow, orange, and red, and we see that the red ones are the, let's say, the most leveraged positions, and then the yellowish or the oranges are the less leveraged positions, okay? And after this, you can see the level of lines. This is the max level of lines. You see, when you go back, you see that here the lines do not appear because the chart will take a lot of time to load. So I advise to leave this setting as default, as it comes by 400, okay? And also, the market bubble styles, these options here are correlated by this option here. So I have deactivated this option, so this option is not important for us if you want to keep it this way. And also this is a criteria that you have to consider this type of order bubbles, okay? This is the same settings that is in the indicator of market order bubbles by Leviathan alone. You have I have done a review and a tutorial talking about this indicator because I use it and is part of my personal trading setup, okay? So if you want to see this video, I will leave it in the cards here in the top right on the corner of the screen. And also this, for example, these last options that you have here, you can leave it as this: standard deviation length 150, CVD length 30, and level calculation mode 1, mode 2, mode 3. For example, I didn't touch this indication. I will switch it, but as you see, the chart doesn't change that much, okay? So I will leave it as default. And also here, as you see here, we have the copyright of Leviathan that he has done, and you here I think that you can switch here and put your name, for example, below the chart. Okay, liquidation levels, chart by trader 1 2 3, and you put here your name if you want to share this screen. So this is the indicator about liquidations. As I said before, is just like a heat map, and if you switch it, the colors this way is very, let's say, very representative and very easy to see. But as I said, if you have experience enough, you can see or you can guess where the liquidity is, and usually the liquidity is around the points of the swing levels or the swing points where the price has a strong rejection to the upside or to the downside. Okay, so for example here it has a rejection, and then a lot of people is positioning short, so they are creating liquidity above the price. And in the other side, if here the price pumps, a lot of people is positioning long, so they are creating liquidity below the price. Okay, because their stop losses are clustered there. But as I said, if you have a lot of experience in the market and you see charts for many hours and you have, let's say, a lot of skin in the game, you will see these levels without having to use these indicators. But if you are a beginner and you want to trade this you can use it for swing trades. Okay, because usually this, for example, here is a big pool of liquidity. Okay, at 26,000. So 26,000, okay, is a level that maybe we want to revisit. Okay, so maybe price does this, liquidates early shorts, and then goes here to mitigate this liquidity. Okay, so you want to see points where the liquidity is clustered. Okay, when you see a lot of lines, and that means that it's a hit point, a heat map. When you see a lot of heat here, it means that a lot of orders are clustered there, and usually these levels, or these levels where a lot of orders are clustered, attract the price to this area to catch liquidity, to mitigate this liquidity, and then price usually bounces again from these points because they find a lot of bids. Okay, and then price catches up again. Then if, okay, the liquidity will be updated hand in hand one from what the price will be doing in the future. Okay, so we cannot guess what the price will be doing. Okay, but these liquidity levels will change where accordingly to what the price will be doing in the future. Okay, so as I said, this liquidation levels by Leviathan Capital indicator is 100% for free. You can use it on TradingView. You don't have to purchase a high block payment plan, or you don't have to join, for example, Trading Light to see these liquidation levels. Personally, I don't use this indicator, but if you want to use it and give it a try, and it helps you, because every trader has their setups, their preferences, and I don't want to tell you what you have to do. My personal opinion is that I don't use it. I find it very useful if you are beginning and you want to understand charts and how liquidity works. Okay, so give it a try if you want. I hope this video was helpful for you. And before, let's say, closing the video or ending the video, I forgot to mention, follow me on Twitter at trading-soldier, where I post a lot of trading ideas, also news. As you see here, I post my trading ideas about Bitcoin, about Polkadot, okay, my charting ideas. Okay, so you can find me on Twitter, or X as we call them right now, at trading_soldier, okay, the verified one. Stay aware of scammers, okay. And also you can see that I post also videos that the one that you are watching right now. And also I encourage you to visit my website trading-soldier.com, where you can find a lot of free content and free tutorials to begin to learn for free, obviously, how to be a better trader. Okay, here I made a lot of tutorials about liquidations, about correlates, about trend lines. If you click here on load more, okay, you will see that there is, for example, Heitmap, price action. Okay, I did a lot of free content. Okay, that, for example, about VWAP. Okay, you click here in VWAP and you will see that you have the video as you are watching right now, and then you have the explanation in a written format. Okay, so I made the article in the blog post explaining all the concepts that you need to know. So if you want to become a better trader, you don't have any excuse right now, because all the content that I publish in my website and also on Rumble, where you can find my videos, also on Twitter, is 100% free, and you can learn a lot and take a lot of, let's say, insights and a lot of value from my free content that I'm giving you. I know that if I'm giving the content for free, the people, and also usually people don't value what is given for free. So maybe in the future I will consider to switch all this content to a payment, let's say, method, okay, to a payment wall, because I see that people doesn't value what they don't pay, or that they don't, let's say, they don't have to do an effort to get, okay. So I'm putting a lot of effort and a lot of hours of experience and a lot of, let's say, and a lot of my soul here for free, and I don't see that the people is valuing it as it should, okay. So I will consider in the future to switch it to a payment, let's say a paywall, okay, that if you don't pay a particular amount, a month or a year, you will not have access to this information. So I encourage you to, while this information is still for free, I encourage you to read it, to learn as much as you can, and if you give me a lot of, let's say, how to say, a lot of support about the content that I'm creating for free, maybe I will consider to leave it for free, okay. But in this moment I'm considering to switch it to a payment, let's say, service, or a payment service, yes. So thank you for your time. I hope this video helped you a lot to understand better liquidity and how to see the liquidity better in the TradingView charts, and we see you on the next video.